This is the State of the World address for the past 500 years. The State of the World address is brought to you by the Light Bringer. Time and again, I will come in between the slides just to elaborate of what is presented. May you open your ears and listen to what the Spirit is saying and make the right decision. The World Address by the Light Bringer. First, in the 1500s, there was already chaotic enslavement of Africans that was happening in the east where Asia is, in the north where Europe is, in the west where America is. In sub-Saharan Africa, there was almost no enslavement in that area. The demons that have taken over the east, they've almost wiped out everyone, every African whom they found in the east. The few that they have left out who are still there even today in some areas, they hardly show them on TV. In the north, in Europe, certain areas they managed to wipe out every African. In America, they almost wiped out everyone that they found. So in the years 1500s, these demons, realizing that they are not having the capabilities of building civilization, they had to come into the south, sub-Saharan Africa, to start to take slaves so that they can build for them their civilization. In the 1600s, a well-planned enslavement of Africa was put together through the Bible, Torah, and Quran. In the year 1611, the King James was finalized. In the King James, things were written in codes. King James was manufactured or was put together using the scrolls that were taken from ancient Egypt, which they call Kemet. Some of the scrolls were twisted and new books were created. And there were also other forgeries, complete forgeries that were added in the Bible, like the book of Job. Complete forgery. So they created the 1611 King James Bible to put their plan in action. The children of Zulu, the code name for them is the Hittites. The children of Congo, the code name for them is Amoritite. The rest of the children of Africa, the code name for Africa is Canaan. It was planned in the Bible that the demons who are pretending to be human are going to enter into the land of Canaan and kill the Canaanites and take over Canaan. When you read Deuteronomy 20 verse 17, it shows you that the plan was to start with Zulu, which is South Africa, and then go to Congo, which is the center of Africa, then go to the rest of Africa. In the year 1616, Joshua, it is said, he asked God to hold the sun so that they can kill the Canaanites. Who is Joshua in the year 1616? It is Galileo Galilei, whom with his 1616 telescope claimed that he looked at the sun. He brought the sun closer to him with his 1616 telescope, and he saw sun patches on the sun, and he saw how the stars were hitting the sun. And Galileo Galilei concluded that the sun is stationary and the earth is spinning. Galileo Galilei is a code name for Joshua when they were stopping the sun, starting with their false narrative that the earth is spinning and the sun is stationary. From those years, from 1619, the first slaves were taken from Angola. Those were organized slaves. Already slavery was already taking place, but the ones that were properly under proper organization were taken in 1619 in Angola. And the rest of what was happening in 1619 was all the attempt to kill the Africans. And then they failed to kill us. And then they stayed amongst us, as it is written in the book of Joshua, that the Israelites, which is the code name for the invading demons, they could not kill all the Canaanites, so they decided to stay amongst them, to kill them little by little. How do you stay with the Israelites as Canaanites and the Israelites are killing you little by little? Is because these Israelites, which is the code name for the invading demons, they are using tricks. They make as if they are with you. Listen to what Joe Biden has said in 1988. Also listen to what the European Mark has said in the year 2023 to realize how they operate.
What disturbs me more than the policy that you call a policy is the rationale for the policy. The rationale for the policy. You set out 4 principles that you adhere to, and then and I will go over them in a moment. Then you say on page 14, we must not become part of South Africa's problem. We must remain part of their solution. We must not aim to impose ourselves, our solutions, our favorites in South Africa. Damn it, we have favorites in South Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime. We have favorites. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans. And the South Africans are majority black, and they are being excoriated. It is not to some stupid puppet government over there. It is not to the Afrikaners regime. We have no loyalty to them. We have no loyalty to South Africa, to South Africans. And the fact of the matter is I listen to this rationale, first of all. It is the leaders of South Africa and their people, black and white, who have the majority responsibility. They must rise to it. Well, they are rising to it. They're rising to it. The only thing left available to do with that repulsive, repugnant regime of Afrikaners there. And it's the only way they have. They've tried everything for the last 20 years. They begged, they borrowed, they crawled, and now they're taking up arms. The second thing, progress toward peace requires a timetable. Timetable, elimination of apartheid. What's our timetable? What are we saying to that repugnant regime? Are we saying you've got 20 days, 20 months, 20 years? We ask them to put up a timetable. What's our timetable? These people are being crushed. And we're sitting here with the same kind of rhetoric. The same thing we heard. We heard go slow. We heard we have to take care of the problem afterwards. We heard we can't impose.
You are totally misconstruing the testimony that I gave.
It's a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. Most of the rest of the world is a jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden.
What's the difference between a garden and a jungle? A garden's a nice place where civilized human beings walk around. A jungle is the heart of darkness, where wild animals live. Now, many people in Africa, Asia, Latin America remember very well how in the name of civilization, European colonialism treated them like wild animals, enslaving them, torturing them, and even exhibiting them in human zoos. Therefore, when the highest diplomat of the European Union compares Europe to a garden, but especially the rest of the world to a jungle, the message these people hear is that Europe is still driven by neocolonialism. We cannot let that message pass.
What you see there with Joe Biden, it's an Oscar performance. What he has done is the script that was written to him by those that are planning that Joe Biden will be a leader in the near future. What you saw playing out with that Europe is a garden is also the same script that was written for Joe Biden. But now is 2023. They choose again a young demon. They make the young demon to sound nice so that the Canaanites, which is the code name for Africans, can be comfortable with this young demon, while this young demon is killing the Canaanites little by little. Africans, the nicer they are, the more deadly they become. The choice is yours, whether you are going to listen to the commandment of the Most High in Enoch 15 verse 8, when he says, any child of an Anunnaki and an African woman, that child must be called an evil spirit. Listen to the commandment and you are going to be safe. In the 1700s, the invading demons, the beast, they started to set up oppressive structures for the entire world. The main target for oppression was the Africans, but these demons are also oppressing one another. They were also fighting against one another. The demons that were sitting on top of the ladder are the pink demons, the European demons. Yes, they were working with the yellow demons, the Arabic demons, as well as the Asian demons, because all of them, they cooperated in the enslavement of Africa. All of them, they have stolen from Africans. In the 1800s, the Holy Land, which is Africa, was partitioned by the invading demons in the year 1884 to 1885. By this time, they already have a stronghold through their satanic religion called Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And during this time, there was another book that was manufactured around 1840, which is called the Book of Jasher. In the Book of Jasher, they have put a lot of truth in it mixed with lies. And also in the Book of Jasher, they made even extra fables in it to deceive those who are not spiritually aware. In the 1800s, a prophet in the Holy Land was born whose name is Simon Kimbangu. This prophet prophesied accurately that Africans will be liberated from these demons, but the first liberation will go to African leaders who are going to be in bed with these demons, which is the beast from the earth. We know that in Revelation 13, the beast from the earth has two horns like a lamb, but speak like a dragon. They will have our melanin and our nose, but they will not be working for us. So Prophet Simon Kimbangu accurately prophesied about what is going to happen. In the 1900s, Africans were given fake liberty by the demons, and this fulfilled the prophecy that was made by Simon Kimbangu. Majority of the African leaders that led different countries in Africa were puppets of the demons, and also is prophesied in Revelations 13. Some amongst the Africans who took over their countries had a true love for their people. Those who had a true love for their people, who wanted the best for their people, were assassinated. For example, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and others were killed because they wanted the best for their people. But the demons, they wanted a leader that is going to be rich by themselves and let the rest of the Africans in their country to be poor. And the puppets are good at this. They are living in heaven while the rest of the Africans in their countries are living in hell. In the year 1940s, there was a film called King Kong. In this film called King Kong, there is a witch that is riding a gorilla to its death. This gorilla was not aware that this witch is riding him to his death because this witch seemed to be nice to this gorilla. This film was a representative of what Queen Elizabeth was doing with the African leaders, smiling with them, dancing with them, while knowing that she is riding them and their countries to death so that these demons can take over the lands. In the 2000s, all hell is breaking loose against the demons. The plan that they have against South Africa was not working. The HIV which they've planted in the location to kill Africans in South Africa was not working. So they started to panic. Then in 2014 March, Bill Gates was telling the world of a virus that was coming. When he was telling the world of the virus that was coming, he used the number 10 million. The same number that was used by Jim Carrey in his joke, 10 million. And then when you check what Jim Carrey said, he said he's going to be taking over the world and then he's going to rename Zimbabwe to be Zimbabwe. And the average number of the Zimbabwean is 10 million. In the year 1616, a demon from Germany called Rudolf came out and confessed that they, the pink bastards, are not human, and they started to apologize. So the question is, why was Rudolf starting to apologize? Rudolf, like the rest of the other demons who are aware of what is happening, knew that their plans against Africans were no longer working and there should be judgment that is coming towards them. In the year 2019, there was a big panic amongst the demons because in the year 2019, the lunar year and the solar year, they meshed again. On the 26th of September 2019, it was a new moon, and on that 26th of September, it was the first day of the solar year. This phenomenon happens every 36 years. So during this panic, they then released their lab-made virus called COVID-19.
The fire for comments she made over the possible fatality rate in Africa from the coronavirus pandemic. In an interview with CNN, Melinda warned that if the world doesn't act fast enough developing a vaccine for COVID-19, there will be dead bodies out on the streets of Africa, as there are on the streets of Ecuador. The philanthropist, who has visited several African countries and has donated enormously to health-related issues, also pointed out that slums in Africa will be more vulnerable to COVID-19. Let's take a quick listen.
You know, COVID-19, everybody, but affects people differently. We need a national response, and it needs to be equitable.
What was the moment like for you, Melinda, if there was one, when this hit you personally?
When I saw what China had to do to isolate such an enormous part of their population, my first thought was Africa. How in the world are they going to deal with this? I've been in townships all over Africa in slums. When we talk about in our country physical distancing and then hand washing, if you live in a slum, you can't physical distance. You have to go out and get your meal. You don't have clean water to wash your hands. And so as soon as I saw that, and we know from the foundation's work how quickly disease spreads, I thought, oh my gosh, we have a crisis on our hands that we aren't even talking about yet in the United States and the rest of the world.
That's how much worse it's going to be in the developing world.
It's going to be horrible in the developing world. And part of the reason you're seeing the case numbers still don't look very bad is because they don't have access to very many tests. So, you know, look at Ecuador. Look at what's going on in Ecuador. They're putting bodies out on the street. You're going to see that in countries in Africa.
I was always into this, you know, visualization and stuff, you know, and I years ago, it's an interesting story because I 4 years ago, I used to go up to Mulholland Drive and I used to say, I have this and that and this. Oh, it's all good and it's coming to me, you know, and I actually wrote myself a check, and this is for real. This is not a joke. This is for real. I wrote myself a check for $10 million per picture.
This is
by Thanksgiving 1995.
Wow, look at that. This is the actual.
Yeah. Don't wreck it.
No, I don't want to. This is certainly. Yeah, there you go. That's the actual check.
That's the actual check I wrote myself 4 years ago, and that's so I'm kind of here to say that visualization does work, and of course now I've had to change my goals because I'm kind of getting close to that one. So
wow.
So I've been working on something. Yeah, this is new. I'm kind of into real estate now. Can you get a shot of that?
Now these are, yeah, that
See, I just started renaming the cities and countries. There's Zimbabwe over there. That's Jimdonesia. Madagascar is going to be a fun place, you know.
When I was a kid, the disaster we worried about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement, filled with cans of food and water. When the nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel. Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next epidemic.
What an Oscar performance by Melinda Gates. She says she's love Africans. Africans but are going to die because we're slums. We cannot socially distance. Oh, Melinda Gates, what you have planned together with the cronies that are with you and your ex-husband will be judged. I know what you have been planning. I know what you have been doing behind the scenes. Jim Carrey, you are making jokes about Africans being killed and their lands being taken and be renamed. It's nice for you. If Zimbabwe is now Zimbabwe, then we all have to laugh. Africans think we are joking. How can a demon make jokes? Jim Carrey, you will see who's going to laugh last. In South Africa, there is a culture in the secular music that they will set up the songs to break the year on the 31st of December to see which song is going to be number one. What happens is that in that year 2019, the song that becomes number two, it means it's a song that is played last in that year. And that song was Umlilo by DJ Zinhle. And that song was prophesying that there was fire that was coming to the world. And that fire will make those whose eyes are closed to open and those who are crippled to walk. So she was prophesying about what was coming against Africans, which was COVID-19. But actually, COVID-19 became a blessing for Africans because during the COVID-19 lockdowns, many Africans were awoken to the truth. The song that became #1 in the year 2020, meaning the first song to be played in the year 2020, it was a song called Jerusalema. The song Jerusalema means, Jerusalema, my mother, please protect me, cover me. So the Most High made the children of Jerusalem, who were not even aware that they were staying in Jerusalem, to pray for their mother to protect them.
Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana, ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo.
The song says, Jerusalema, my mother, please protect me. So the Most High has made the children of Jerusalem to pray for the protection of the people of Jerusalem. The children of Jerusalem didn't even know that Jerusalem is on the south of Egypt. But the Most High made sure that the children of Jerusalem prayed for their mother to protect them. The song umlilo. It's a prophecy that there was fire that was coming, but this fire will make those who are blind to see. The fire that was coming is the COVID-19 virus that was manufactured in a laboratory. This fire, instead of destroying the main target, instead it has opened our eyes. Many Africans were resurrected during the COVID-19 lockdowns. So therefore, the prophecy of DJ Zinhle that there is a fire that is coming, but that fire will make those who don't see to see, those who can't walk to walk. That prophecy was accurate. Many Africans are walking properly because of COVID-19. The enemy has missed. In the year 2022, October the 12th, the Son of Man went to a police station in South Africa and he signed an affidavit and he annexed the act. The annexation of the act is attached in the description box. In the year 2023, July 25, there was a declaration of war by the Son of Man. 2023. This is the intensification of the movement of the angels of death to remove the invading demons from the earth. Enoch chapter 1 verse 1 is in action. Many calamities are coming to the invading demons. Those who try to eliminate Africans, you are going to be eliminated. Nature is against you. The mother, the father, and the son are against you. You are going to be eliminated. Demons, oh Neanderthals, you have bitten more than you can chew. Topic number 5, message to African government leaders. Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa, and all African presidents immediately denounce democracy and hand over power to the mighty king, or face violent takeover of the power you were given by the invading demons. Beware of the 18th of August 2023. May this date not catch you by a surprise. All those that work next to these African presidents, you must not be within 3-kilometer radius of where they are if by the 15th of August 2023 they have not handed over power.
President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence, and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really.
5.6 Arabs, Asians, and Europeans in and outside sub-Saharan Africa. You demons, you've created heaven for yourselves on my earth by murdering my people, and you took over their lands. You engineered poverty for them, and you became specialists in launching biological warfare against unsuspecting people who have done you no harm. You said in God you trust. Now the trustworthiness of your bloody God will be put under a head-crushing test. O Neanderthals, proud possessors of stolen lands, I will put hooks into your jaws and I will ride you to your slaughter. Those of you who are in sub-Saharan Africa, vacate while the exit points are still open. It won't be long before I close all exits and give my people authorization to trample over snakes. Leave only with your weapons, which you have always trusted. Take your clothes, take your laptop, take your cell phones, and get the hell out of my holy mountains. All what you think you own is stolen or is made from stolen material or stolen knowledge. Therefore, I have annexed it.
Out there, Al, as well. What do you think there's aliens?
You know, I've been asked that question hundreds of times. Do you believe in aliens? And I say, yeah. Have you ever seen one? I say, yeah, I have. Well, how have you seen them? Well, I said, I look in the mirror every morning. Because that's what we are. We are the aliens, but we just think we're the thing. We just think they're somebody else, but we're the ones who came from somewhere else. Because somebody else.
Dark-skinned people, in America mainly, have had a suspicion for a very long time. White people are not really human. And this suspicion has been around for a long, long time. And like any suspicion which is around for a long, long time, there is a little bit of truth to it. I want to admit today to you that white people originating from Northern Europe are called, not aliens, they are called Aryans. Sorry about that, my brain don't function so well today. These white people are not really human from this earth like black people are.
Did to me. People, get over it. By the time these young people get ready to have children, they will realize that as the hole in the ozone layer gets larger and larger, more and more sunlight is allowed to enter our environment, and more people who have pale faces are going to die of melanoma, which is a skin cancer that you get if you don't have enough melanin in your skin. Let me tell you, people of color are going to be very much in demand for reproduction in the future. And mark my words, you're laughing now, but you wait 20 years. You won't even have to wait 20 years because they're going.
Africans, let us be real. Let's say you forget that a lion bites, and then you walk carelessly next to a lion and it bites you and you run away, you've got injuries. If we have to analyze this situation, who are we going to blame? The lion or the African that has forgotten that the lion bites? We are going to blame the African that has forgotten that the lion bites. We were warned about the invasion of demons, but we forgot because we are sharing everything with the demons. So now the demons have killed us, they've destroyed us, they've taken what is ours, they've made it theirs. Do we blame the demon? No. You cannot blame a demon for being demonic. It's their nature. Their father is a thief, so they steal. Their father is a killer, so they kill. Their father is a destroyer, so they destroy. The one we should blame is us. We need to be blamed for letting our guard down around demons, for forgetting that there are demons in the world and forgetting the image of the demons. Africans, you are reminded about the image of a demon. No more excuses. We need to disconnect from demons. We need to not to mix with the demons. We are not supposed to have any business relationship with the demons. There is nothing good that can come from a demon. Our ancestors, they know about this. And there's no way that we can tell a demon to have Ubuntu, make a demon to have Ubuntu. It is impossible. It is impossible for a demon to have Ubuntu. They lack the spirit, the K, the K-A they don't have. 5.7 African police personnel and soldiers. Assist your African kings and queens as well as the African youth in protecting our food, resources and minerals, which are benefiting the sellout African leaders and their European and Asian evil masters. If you choose to act on behalf of the sellout African leaders and their evil masters, then there will be a heavenly brutality against you, and in the meantime request your bosses to supply you with head protection that can withstand thunderbolts. I am raising and releasing my rays of vibration against your stubborn heads. A day after the presentation by the light bringer that the kingdom of Zulu has suffered violence, a coup took place in Niger, where the demons are extracting minerals for almost nothing. Let Africa rise. On the 14th of August 2023, Nigerian Air Force, who are working under the instructions of the demons from the West, this aircraft was met with heavenly brutality. The puppet of the West, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is mourning the death of those that refuse to disconnect themselves from the Africans who are working with the demons, who are in bed with the demons. More of African soldiers who don't want to disconnect from these sellout African leaders. Your families are going to mourn. The other puppets of the West are panicking. Paul Kagame is panicking. Paul Biya is panicking. Dennis Nguesso is on a thin ice. And all of you other puppets of the West, your heaven is coming to an end. United Nations truck filled with stolen gold had an accident in DR Congo. The driver died on the spot. United Nations, you said you are in DRC to keep peace. The Most High has exposed you that you are nothing but thieves, brood of vipers. Your heaven is coming to an end. 5.8 Ordained African apostles, prophets, bishops, pastors, evangelists, and others. You have been an agent of Lord God, who is Satan. You have kept my people blind, naked, divided, not knowing what is good and evil. You stripped them of their divinity, and you made them to look for a non-human external savior, and you encouraged them to eat dust, which is flesh. Enoch 7 verse 5 shows that you've made them to live in sin. Enoch 98 verse 11 shows that by living in that sin, there was a curse on the Africans. All of you have done this evil blindly. I give you 3 days from the day you hear this message to apologize to those you have misled and confess your error to them. To those who knew that Lord God is Satan, but for financial gain you kept the truth away from my people, there is no room for your repentance. I am raising and directing my rays of vibration against your greedy heads.
And in his mighty power, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers and authorities, against the powers of the darkness, against spiritual forces of wickedness in high places. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so when the day of evil comes, ye may be able to withstand your ground. May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. We are not fighting some disconnected incidents. We are fighting an institutional, systemic problem that has been allowed to permeate since we were brought to these shores. And we are fighting wickedness in high places.
Hope is the greatest deceiver. That's what a rejected prophet called Credo Mutwa has said. Hope is the greatest deceiver. Instead of coming with action plan to get ourselves out of situations we're in, we are bombarded with hope messages. Ordained apostles, ordained priests are telling us that wickedness is in high places. Where are the high places? What is the staircase? Where is the staircase to reach the high places? Let us be real. Wickedness is in the earth. It is done by those that look like the white Jesus. Wickedness is done by the Arabs. Wickedness is done by the Asians. Wickedness is done by the Europeans. Wickedness is done by the sellout African leaders, including the kings. The kings are supposed to be the ones who are leading the liberation of Africans, but they are quiet. They are saying nothing because the demons are printing paper for them and giving them what they should do. All the kings do is to wash girls' dance, wash Amabuto dance, but the kings are doing nothing for the liberation of Africans. Wickedness is not in high places. Wickedness is in the earth. And we as Africans who are awoke, we need to put plans in place to get rid of the wickedness.
Baba. Son, it is well. It has always been well. You have a purpose. Remember, you are the descendant of the people of the sun. Do not doubt yourself. Do not allow fear to enter your heart. Remember who you are. Remember where you come from. Remember that I'll always be here, and I'll always be with you. Go well, my son. Your destiny awaits. Godspeed, Osana.